So I am currently going through the grueling process of upgrading residences. I'm moving all the crap that I have accumulated in a one-room apartment into a rent house. And that wouldn't be so bad, except things are busy. I'm having to do all this at night, like 1 in the morning. I'm moving furniture over with friends. And then I got to come to work because I can't skimp out on that because there are tens of thousands of dollars on the line. But all this got me thinking about, I would say, a more general question, which is when is the right time to move out of your parents' house? And that's a toughie, right? Because there's several answers that are valid that contradict each other, I think. And one of them is like a financial question or a financial factor, and the other is a factor of personal development, the stuff that 20-year-olds roll their eyes at. But I'll tell you from experience as an unk, as a certified unk now, as the oldest of Gen Z, that is a real factor. So let's start with the financial factor. Okay, so a lot of people tell me, a lot of my friends, a lot of people online will tell me that there is an economic benefit to staying with your parents. And I mean, just purely on the fact that you're not paying like $900 a month every month, I would say yes. But I don't know if it's really like, I would say maybe it's more of a financial break and not so much of a financial advantage. Because here's the thing, right? I get the sentiment of that argument that like I'm saving money staying with mom and dad. Totally get that argument. But this is where I'm going to get some dislikes perhaps. How many people do you think stay at mom and dad's house and actually invest the money that they would be paying to rent consistently into some kind of financial vehicle? 1%, maybe half a percent. Like if you're doing that, if you would be paying $900 rent and now you go, mom and dad, I'm going to stay here. I'll do work around the house and I'm going to put $900 a month into a, Charles Schwab account, into a Roth IRA. I would totally get that. And I would be like, yeah, you go, brother. You keep staying in that loft. Totally okay with that. But let's be real. Think about all the friends you know that still stay at their parents' house. This is exactly what I did when I was still staying at my parents' house and I was like 24. I just bought like Colt Pythons and stuff, right? I didn't do anything. I bought violins. I bought Colt Pythons. I was fine getting a brand new car, which is, I would say, like a pretty financially silly decision in your 20s. Like most of what would be rent that should be going into an investment since you're not renting tends to fund people's hobbies. And I don't think that's an economic benefit. I think that's a pure comfort play. Because it is hard when you move out. It is hard to go to the bar as much, to go to concerts, to go get that cool new toy you wanted. That is true. But I don't think it's a benefit to a person to accumulate these things necessarily, and you're gonna miss out on the psychological effects of having your own place. Because here's the other argument. Here's the counter argument for moving out. I basically just laid it out. There is a transformation of your self-image when you have your own place. I used to think that was silly. I promise. I used to have the same thought, like, that is stupid. Why would I do that? But after I've been moved out for maybe 4 years now, now I'm upgrading because even the place I'm at has constrictions on what it allows you to, uh, constrictions on how it allows me to mentally see myself and therefore change the way I act in the world. Um, but there are these benefits, right? And you're not going to get them because think about it. When you are living with your mom and dad, there's always, usually, I say always, it depends on your mom and dad, but typically there are two much higher income earners in the house. And they're probably leaving before you do. They're probably working longer than you. They have more things going on. You're a side character. That's going to be, even though you're young maybe, and you think you're the main character, there is some subconscious circuit in your mind that knows that you are a subordinate character to two responsible adults. And that is going to have it's going to definitely have an effect on how you see yourself in the world. It's going to limit what you are willing to do, what you're even thinking about doing. If you're out and about, if you're at if you meet a girl at the park or at the bar or anywhere you meet girls, you're not going to have a place to bring them. Even if they're down to go to your parents' house and sneak in, it's still kind of like, like, you know what I'm talking about. There's still an ick factor there. So like what getting your own place allows you to do is to start seeing yourself as genuinely the main character of your life. You're now the primary provider. You're not being sheltered, you know? And I'm not saying any of this to mock or degrade or anything people who are still staying with their parents. I get it. I was forced out. I didn't do it by choice. I did it a little bit earlier than the deadline, but that's hardly saying anything. I was supposed to be out when I was 25. You know, I moved out when I was 24 and 8 months. Big whoop. I'm not a hero. Right? But it will change the way you see yourself in the world. Coming home to your place with your stuff in it, where you can watch whatever or you want at whatever volume you want, where you can play your instruments as loud as you want to play them, that has a positive effect on you. And I do think it's going to, this sounds bad, but I promise it's not. It's going to compress you into someone that's more focused, and your energy is going to be directed more effectively towards, you know, income generating activities. Because now your baseline is way up. Maybe you could get by with making $300 a week at your parents' house. That's all you needed. They got groceries. Now you're getting the groceries. Now you're paying for the housing. Now you're paying for the water. And when you do that, even if you think you can't do it, most people, when they move out, find a way. You will adapt. There are lots of things you're probably not doing right now that you could be doing. And because the necessity isn't there, you don't do them. And no one could, I'm not blaming you for that. I wouldn't either. But when you are forced into this position where you're providing for yourself and you know that, and then you go find the resources to do that, that is a genuine dopamine spike. It's going to boost the way you see yourself. You're going to see yourself as more capable. As, you know, when you're younger, you want to you want to get picked up. I don't know why you would. You want to get picked up by an agency, and maybe you want to be on Nickelodeon. You want that cushy job with Dan Schneider. You want to work for Disney. Oh, you want to be co-cast with Bella Thorne. That's the golden ticket. But when you're older, you start realizing that's kind of silly. It works for some people, but how you got to ask yourself after seeing that Nickelodeon kid on the street. How well does it really work for people? But I'm getting off topic. The point isn't about child acting. The point is about you getting out there and providing for yourself and what that does to your mind. It opens up more possibilities. You see things differently. And even then, there are more steps. Currently, I remember when I moved out, that was a clear mental transitional period. I could feel myself changing. And now I'm moving out from my place to my own bigger place. And this is way harder. This is a bigger transformation than the move from my parents' house to my one-room apartment. And life is just a series of these things, by the way. Life is a series of deaths and rebirths, and they are usually not comfortable. But then when you do them, you realize they were worth every bit of the discomfort, because you are no longer a dependent. You're no longer somebody relying on the efforts and the sacrifices of other people. Now you know you're someone who can do that, and that's pretty sweet. Now I will concede, it's pretty sweet living at your parents' house and being able to go buy, like, I don't know, a PSL or something stupid, or like just a gaming computer, whatever your thing is. Suddenly, 3 months rent, that's usually the cost of most people in their 20s dream item, right? And when you get older, you start thinking like, okay, I want a watch, and the watch is $6,000, and I'm gonna go get this place, right? I'm gonna go get this apartment, and the rent is $10,000 a year. It's like, well, shoot, if I just omit that, my parents are cool with me staying here. I can get the watch in 6 months. But normally that's not how financials actually work out. So maybe it's time for you to move out. I don't know. I'm not the guy deciding that for you. But you got to ask yourself, okay, like, I'm staying at my parents' house for a financial benefit. But are you saving money? Are you investing anything? Be honest with yourself. When you're 40 years away, is there anything you're doing right now that's going to put $200,000 in your retirement account, or your savings account if you're self-employed, or whatever, your brokerage account? Or are you just enjoying the comfort? So, not dogging on anybody here. Some people might take this the wrong way. I don't want you to take this the wrong way. I just want you to think about it. Be honest with yourself, and I want you to hear from someone who did move out when I certainly wasn't ready to move out, and I immediately adapted to it. And I was like, oh, this is way better. Holy crap. I thought I had it nice, but you think things sometimes, and those things aren't so. So, song of the day is Mind Power by James Brown. It's I don't know, man. I was never a big James Brown guy growing up. I was never like into the funk soul stuff. But this last year, I went through a really tough financial time. And I remember just driving around in the hood. I was driving around the hood, and we were going to like a book giveaway, and that song came on, and I was just like driving through all the dilapidated houses, super broke, and I was like, holy good Lord, this song is like, this is my song right here. Like this, I get it now. Totally get the James Brown appeal. So yeah, Mind Power by James Brown. It's another long one, but go listen to it. Especially if you're having kind of a bad time. It's a good song to just forget your troubles with. It's just a long jam. So get out of your parents' house if you think the time's right. Get out of your parents' house if you're not sure if the time's right. If you absolutely know that you're getting some giant benefit and you're putting money into ETFs and stuff, consistently and you're at your parents' house, that's fine. You could stay. As long as you're being useful and providing. So yeah, take care. Thanks for listening to the video. And I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye-bye.